Meeting to order. We have got a full house with Steve online. First order of business is to accept our minutes of October 8th.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, Steve?
You're
Melissa?
muted.
Yep, I saw the hand.
Okay. Aye.
Pete?
Aye.
Peter? Aye. Shay? Aye. Unanimous. Thank you, Carrie. You. Visitor comments, is there anybody that wants to bring any questions, discussion forward that is not something already on the agenda? Hearing none. Ferry service update. It looks like we've got the ferry rate questionnaire down under old business. Is there any other ferry service update items? John is looking like, is there any chance that we would take the ferry rate questionnaire out of order? Would anyone be interested in move that out of order?
Yeah.
That's a vote. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, Steve. Aye, perfect.
Thank you.
Ferry rate questionnaire, thank you to everyone that spent some time working on this. To get some data, looking at it, it seems like a relatively straightforward questionnaire that will hopefully get us some good information to inform future discussions on this topic. Is this something that we can make available during the referendum day, or what's the recommendation on the best way to share this broadly within the
We're
community?
gonna put it in the box holder.
I had a suggestion that we send it out with the regular November mailing
Okay,
to all the box holders.
Yeah.
That way. We've only got 2 questions on the referendum, so that the issue.
might be light turnout,
It may be a
Yeah.
very light turnout, I'm afraid, so that was my thought.
okay, with
But
like
we'll
a,
have some here.
with like a box, would they return it here, would they?
Yeah, that's what,
Yeah,
I would suggest just having a box here, that's what we did with the first ferry survey we did a few years ago.
Okay,
And that should work, and we might be able to just put a little note in the mailing that just says, look at the, or questionnaire should be obvious, I think.
Yeah.
Whatever.
and did I see, maybe by mid-November, you hope to have them back, or did I?
I don't think there's any real rush, because
Oh.
we wouldn't be doing it until next summer anyway, but I think, I think a drop dead date makes a lot of sense, because it will kind of force people to read it and respond, so. I leave it up to you folks, maybe the end of November or something like that.
yeah, I think a month is plenty of time.
I'd like to have something on there that says, please return this by November 20th, or I'm just pulling a date. Please return by, like, the drop dead date, and then we keep the box up for another month in case you have people that are mailing in or stopping by.
Sure.
And we can still take it and then, in all seriousness, start pulling them and looking at them in January.
We could just add that to the bottom.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you,
Fine.
So I think as long as, I feel like we would wanna have the discussion before we would wanna have the information before our well ahead of budget discussions is all, the timeline.
So I think I have 1 or 2 questions for you about this.
Yeah,
Since this is only gonna be available, the program for Islesboro residents, you're not asking the people, people could respond to this questionnaire who are not Islesboro residents, but just have an opinion.
yeah,
We will not distinguish in the responses whether the respondee was a resident or not.
well, there are 2 options to that, you can say, please respond only if you're a resident, or you can have the first question, are you a resident?
Well, either of those would be acceptable, but it seems to me, since this is, the whole spirit behind this is to have a preferential, as we always had, treatment of fares for Islesboro residents, that we
I can see
We
that.
know that,
I think that question one should be, are you a full-time resident of Ellsberg?
right?
And then if they mark no and they still fill it out, we can still use that
No, no,
data and that
absolutely.
information for housing and everything else.
Yep.
So, no, a little 5 questions, still
Uh,
reasonable.
There are people, including myself, who are residents of the island, but full time.
Well, voter, full-time resident, I mean,
I would
voting.
just say, are
resident.
you a resident of Island? What I'm not trying to differentiate between the two, I'm just trying to get
Yeah.
a robust response.
Not everybody's registered to vote.
We want a robust response, but we also want to know that that this program, if it were installed, would not be subject to the same kind of abuse that we understand previous.
One way to split the hairs with it, the first question could be, how many months a year do you live on Islesboro? 1 through 12, you know, and then you have your differentials between 9 months, 6 months, which would also lean well into our data structure. And then you're not asking somebody to try to determine whether or not they're a full-time resident or part-time, summertime, half-time.
What we might do is say, are you a resident of Islesboro and how many months do you?
Or a legal resident.
No, thank you.
You're not legal, but there is a textbook definition of what defines a resident of the municipality, right? In terms of time,
Voting.
right, so. Maybe legal resident is not the right way to go about it at this point in time, but it seems like we don't really need to like nitpick over 6 months, 9 months.
Isn't it the primary, what's your primary? Sorry,
Go ahead.
Primary resident.
well, I was just gonna say, is Islesboro your primary resident? I mean, that's determines if they're
Yeah.
real.
Right,
And that way, we could differentiate with the returns and try to make some sense out of them.
Sounds good.
Okay, so add that as one.
Please, any other questions, comments?
I have a grammatical question about question number 4, and it might be just that bear with me that I have to read this out loud to myself to get it to make sense. If the town were to limit ticket sales initially to between 5 to 8 tickets per resident household members, how many times would you anticipate using this program? Is that sort of combining 2 questions into one? 5 to 8 tickets per resident household members? What does that mean? That feels like a kind of clunky way to word it. Am I-
Instead of just saying like per person, is that what you mean?
Right, but yeah, but it also sort of feels like perhaps 2 thoughts, 5 to 8 tickets per resident or 5 to 8 tickets per household.
well, forget about the household. Tickets per resident.
Well, yeah, if there's 4 people in the household and they each,
They'd all be residents.
they could be older, you know, and just, are we gonna sell 4 or 5 tickets each one?
The application process has a resident who would apply for the little card that would allow that person to purchase the tickets here at the town office. And has that person list all their household members. And then the application. And that can be changed too, obviously, but the application that I made up. Basically has the signatory to the application agreeing that they will buy tickets, but they will own themselves and the household residents that they have listed on the application. Does that help to clarify?
Yeah. And again, I think, well, maybe if it makes sense, perfect sense to everybody else, then I won't push the issue, but it feels like this is missing like a backslash perhaps, a dash or a. Is it?
Yeah,
Is it-
you could put a backslash right after resident.
Yeah.
That would.
And that makes sense.
Okay, per
And
resident.
that would
by
give the
household,
people the option to say,
and then remove members.
This,
Carrie?
this is
Per resident
just
slash
a
household.
questionnaire.
Yeah, but I want,
But I think it's.
yeah,
it's
I
valid.
by no means, like, I think I've made my personal opinions about this idea. I've said them already, I'm not trying to get that, I just think that this is grammatically doesn't make sense to me. The content of it, whatever, but that would hang me up if I write on a questionnaire, I would like to make sure it's a quick, easy. Yes or no, 1 to 10.
Yeah, no,
do you like the backslash after resident? that work?
Sure.
Okay,
If that's what, if that works and it fits in with what you're trying to, the information you're trying to get, yes.
I've got this as a Word document back on my computer, so I'll do that.
I think I do too, cause I've kicked it up.
I was gonna say for number one, is Islesboro your primary residence?
Mhm.
Nice and simple and
Yeah.
Sold.
get where we want,
Yeah.
okay.
It's gonna cost me and like my family. Right. I'm not going to reread it for clarity, because I am done and quick and my attention span is not fast. Or not slow.
It does say,
Which,
You know,
well, yeah, the argument would be.
point and case.
the money's coming from somewhere, and it says here,
Wow,
briefly
briefly go over well.
stated, the town would use general funds, but maybe that's where it should say, this would be budgeted at a town meeting, it will be in the budget, I mean, we're just not pulling it out of the air.
Right, I guess that's, I mean, I just wanna
That
be
makes
clear about,
We could say to
Yeah.
use general funds subject to approval at the next town meeting.
Well, they're gonna, if it's the budget, it's gonna be raised, it's not really, to me, general funds means undesignated fund balance, but it's gonna be budgeted.
I think we should see.
We
what
need to think
happens
about
with
that too.
just use it as it is.
As
Would
Okay.
you,
what happens with the question.
Michael,
Have this
I got a waste paper
Because
bag.
Thank you.
I have some concerns about that, but I think if we get very limited response and it's not $98,000, it's only $15,000. At that point, who cares?
who wouldn't wanna do it though, I mean,
A lot of people.
wouldn't come in to buy a ticket cheaper?
Pete, go ahead.
I don't.
I'm
know
with you,
those
I'm with you 100% on the finances of it, I think that. I 100% agree with you, Melissa, 100% people, it's impossible for people to read things when you need them to read things. That said. I think that that's kind of a boo on you kind of situation, I think that's
Yeah.
unfortunate that you don't have the attention span to read through something like that. When it comes to something like a taxpayer funded program that is gonna impact all of us in one way or another. I would argue that we should somewhere along the line have some sort of even ballpark projection of what it's the impact to our town's budget. Whether it's in here, as for budget purposes, the trial period would probably initially limit sales and might cost somewhere in the ballpark of some amount of money. I think that having us use an idea of like, well, the money comes from somewhere. When is the last time the government said something like that? And anybody went, oh, okay,
Right. No,
right? So
I can see that.
it feels like the more information we can get out, the better, but in as simple a way as possible.
See, I was wanting to use this as more of like the putting green before we start getting into the weeds. That way we have an idea of what number we're going to put out. That way it doesn't get brought back to us of, well, you said it was gonna be 100,000. But then all of a sudden, all of these people responded back with, yes, I would do it, yes, I would, and we
I think
undershot it, and then it would be 200,000
The 100,000 was the upper and assume
of,
everybody who was a voter.
oh,
Actually, no, it was.
yeah, I did, it was about half.
It was a back of the envelope thing that I did.
Yeah.
And what I did was I took 602 as the number of residents in
Yeah.
the town. And I just pulled out of thin air 75%
Okay.
of the people would take advantage of it. And the numbers I ran resulted in 75, there was 99, I would
Yeah.
say per se 100. Was based on, it was, number one, it was based upon, I think, a family of 4.
Mhm.
No, it was, excuse me, I got a little bit more sophisticated, it was half a family of 4, and it was a couple.
Right.
Okay, and I said, I think I went 6, 7, and 8 uses per peak season.
Yeah.
That's how I got to that, but it was really very arbitrary,
Right.
I had, that's why we're doing this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the reason I don't wanna get locked into it.
That's fine.
Or throw out a number and then have to try to walk it back or walk it forward.
That's fine. We can address this too in making sure that it's advertised in, you know, depending on the results of this, if we get to the budget discussion, to make sure that it's called out for inclusion in budget season discussion.
And have, like, we can do the meetings and open hearings about it and everything else and make sure the number is out there.
Sounds good.
And I'm happy to help with other communications.
Yeah.
to the people. Thank you, Melissa and Peter, could help, because they were very responsive and we were able to turn this around in about 48 hours, which I thought was pretty good.
Yep, excellent. Anything else?
I have one other off subject thing that this is your conscience speaking. In September, I had sent you folks a note about the DOT plans to improve, quote unquote, the parking facility in Lincolnville with some issues regarding why there
Paving and stuff.
gates, and are we gonna be getting charged, and, I just wanted to bring that to your attention again, because I know that's an ongoing process, but I don't know where anybody's at with it.
Okay, my understanding of the last discussion was that Peter Wilcox had sent some communication to them conveying our concerns as well, and I haven't heard, I don't think we've had another update back about kind of where that.
I can mention that to Peter. It just occurred to me this afternoon. I thought, I just wanted to, I didn't want it to.
Yep.
Because if they want to start charging over there, we want to know that.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Great. Janet, are you gonna make this? Okay.
I'll send it to you.
Question one, flash, and please respond by,
Yes.
great.
Great.
Wonderful.
As
Thank
you
you.
know,
Thank you.
we are engaged in a very complicated, extended negotiation about parking fees on this side of the
Yes,
Hopstaff
and,
Bay. And
I just want to thank you to the 33rd, so I'm gonna get out of here.
That's not next on the agenda.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Don't go.
All right, next up is sea level rise update. GZA is continuing their work on the 60% design, and I don't have really any substantive update beyond that. If anybody has any questions.
I'm hopeful in the update discussion, my modest idea of actually changing the center line roads and gets communicated.
Yep.
To GCA.
Yep.
I've looked at that several times and I don't see any good reason why that can't happen. And that would alleviate the negotiation with the adjoining property.
We'll talk to, I know that Shree has had a recent meeting with GZA, so I'm happy to
Right.
follow up with her. Update on the Up Island Public Safety Garage, Steve.
Okay. Let me quickly share something here and we can go through this. Are you able to see my screen?
Nope, not yet.
Here it comes.
Are you using the old or the new computer? No. Anyway. Update. On the health center, and I'm not going to put this in presentation mode. The punch list, they're just working through that list of items. There's as we know, the facility manager hired and is on duty and got a little bit of training when he had some generator issues this week. But there is additional training coming up. And the Up Islands Public Safety Garage, I thought people might want to see some of the work that's going on. So I don't know how well this shows, but there's more than dirt being moved around. We actually have some real progress going on, so that's exciting. And that's the extent of my and the remodeling. I understand Fred has worked his way into his office, and so I've been out of town for a couple weeks. I'll be back late next week, but looks like we're working towards completing the work, and then we're going to determine where we are on the $100,000 worth of the revenue we have for that part of the project, and so everything seems to be moving forward very well. Questions? Okay.
Good going.
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you, Steve. All right, upcoming meetings and subcommittee reports. We have a public here next Wednesday at 5 o'clock to discuss the Grindle Point parking ordinance. I heard from Peter that he wants to give a very brief update about just something to make sure that everybody's aware of going ahead of that public hearing.
The only thing I think we all need to be aware of is that the ordinance is not tied to some particular layout. We have the presentation here of angled parking. We have another scheme with parallel parking. There are some engineering, travel, encroachment, travel lane encroachment issues that DOT raised. None of that is tied to the ordinance. The ordinance merely says that the town, with the agreement of DOT, gets to administer and maintain the shoulder on the side of Ferry Road, which is now, from time immemorial, people have been parking on for free. This will allow us to issue permits to park there and get some revenue from the parks. How much revenue, how much parking, that is still being determined. And I think we need to be very clear next Friday. Wednesday, sorry. Next Wednesday, that this ordinance merely gives the town the right to administer this. So I go over the other schemes and what the alternatives are and what some of the issues are, which are sort of cascading, and DOT has some issues. None of that has anything to do with whether this ordinance is acceptable or not.
Questions? Hearing
What
none.
time's that? What time's that meeting? I'm sorry.
It's at 5 o'clock.
Okay, thank you.
Here
Thank
at
you.
the town.
Town offices will be closed Tuesday, November 4th for the referendum. Planning board November 17th. Any other meetings or subcommittee reports?
The Harbor Committee has been changed from tomorrow to next Thursday, the 30th. Lighthouse Committee is also next Thursday, the 30th.
When is the next IAP?
We don't,
I don't know, we don't keep track
I
of that.
think it's November the 6th.
Or are you talking about the Housing Committee?
No, I know about the housing committee, but there is a board meeting there.
Yeah, we have our upcoming quarterly board meeting, was Tuesday the 28th.
Tuesday, the 28th.
Alright.
I don't know if it's open to the public or not, I would assume that it is.
yeah, I don't know.
Alright.
If you'd like me to ask them fire, if they are, I'd be happy to.
But where do they meet? At the community center?
Well, this time, they sent me. This time we'll be meeting in this room
Really?
on the 28th at 4 p.m.
Is that on our calendar?
It's on the calendar in the hallway as of this morning when I asked Dave about it, so hopefully it got put on this one.
This is IAP on the 28th.
Oh, that's a first.
Yeah, it's out on the hallway calendar as of like 11 a.m. today, so. Yeah, I don't
Maybe I can pop in.
know. Yeah, I don't know, I don't know, again. Are they public, are they not public? I don't know, we're not a town funded organization, we're not a municipal organization, so.
Right.
In fact, in this meeting, I know we're gonna discuss some things that I would suggest are not public knowledge.
Okay.
So. I don't know that we're expecting public input.
Yeah, it seems like that would be a good thing to verify, because I agree, usually a private nonprofit is not necessarily an open public
But I'll-
meeting.
Inquire if there's interest in.
Yeah, I thought that's usually why they went community center and it's kind of.
Yeah,
Mhm. Maybe they're.
yeah, there are reasons why we usually go other places and
Check that out, Pete.
I don't wish to dive into the inner machinations of this organization,
You don't
so.
have to.
Please, no, we got our machinations.
They're not part of the town municipalities, so they can
We'll leave
do
it right
that.
there.
Alright.
You might, when you talk to anybody, just remind them that Carrie's the one that books the room, and that if they don't talk to Carrie, then they didn't book the room.
Oh, or Tina.
Or Tina.
Yeah, but
Then we may.
Dave's a good guy,
We may
but.
wish to employees in the front of office then of what their duties actually are, that's sort of.
But Steve, did you say, Dave?
Yeah, if he's not supposed to do that, then.
I'll talk with him tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
We'll just.
Well,
hopefully
I
do it again.
think if there's an opening on both calendars, I'm in the habit now of checking both calendars, because sometimes meetings end up on one but not the other.
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
people do right up front when they say that, what?
But if it's open, I think it's up for
Okay.
grabs, you know?
And what day was that again?
You're not invited.
I'm gonna walk across the hall. She's not public.
Alright, town managers report.
All right, I have given you the September 9th Energy Committee minutes, the September 30th Lighthouse Committee minutes. The October 8th, committee chair minutes, thank you, Carrie, for those lovely minutes. The first quarter of FY 26 expense and revenue, detailed revenues in the yellow. Of course, John King's ferry questionnaire, and this is the public hearing on the Grundle Point parking ordinance, which has a Zoom link to it, which we will be. I think Tina yesterday posted it, blasted it, so hopefully that will get out to people.
Just on the budget detail, is there anything at this stage that is trending in a way that we should be aware of or that you have concerns about?
No, it's probably too early
Okay.
for anything you need to be. Are you,
If you feel like there are unexpected expenses or lines that are trending and you anticipate continue to. I mean, I think that really that's what. We care about, so, I mean, we can inspect the details, but I'm just wondering from you looking at it every day, if there's something in this that. You want to call out, it would be helpful to understand that.
no, until we get a bill for Billy Shore, and that would be a big price, that would be overage, but. I don't think anything else has come up yet to surprise me.
Okay.
The expenses. Revenues are doing pretty well, I think. A lot of accounts are ahead of where I would have thought they were, so that's nice. Early on.
Okay.
And that's it for me. If you have any questions other than budget.
Quick question. Hi there. With one of our two town support people out, with injury, how are we doing from a service standpoint? Are there areas that have fallen far behind? Overall, I know that Jordy might be out, for a more extended period of time. I mean, is there anything we need to be discussing maybe at the next meeting to compensate for that, or just an idea, thoughts? Thank you.
I don't think so at this point. I think this is a good time of year for Jordy to be out. I mean, it's quiet. I think the mowing is pretty much done. For one thing, now it's a matter of picking up, putting things away, which Tom did a lot of that. Tried to do that with picnic tables when he had a helper. But he does have Jeff on Thursdays. He can utilize him. And I think Jordy's gonna be taking the water sample over to Winslow. It's every other week. So that would save Tom leaving town. Right now, it seems like it's been a lot of dead animals to be picked up, which he's been able to accomplish. But I will talk with him tomorrow and see if he feels there's things, I mean, everything happens the same every year, you do this.
They for sure.
For sure, done by Art?
Yes, so has that,
Yes, that's
It has
done. That
been
was
done.
done by, Shinyap Tree.
yep, no, I just wasn't sure. I hadn't heard, maybe I missed the update that it had been completed.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure.
The second part of his bill is in this one. You might ride down by there.
That's nice.
I haven't heard anybody say it's remarkable, but they didn't, truckers maybe, I don't know, but no one has said anything, but.
The only reason I can find it was done is because people stopped complaining about it, and I was like,
Oh.
ooh, and so then I went by and looked, and it was like.
What are they on to now?
Right. I do have something, and I don't know if it is under, if I should bring it up under manager report or new business. But it is something for Janet, so, okay. A lot of people have seen the notifications that SNAP will not be. People that utilize the SNAP benefits will not have their benefits for November. I was wondering if the town could please put out a resource list. I know that I was hoping that maybe we could get a list together of resources and contact numbers and put it out in an email. That way, families that might be affecting food shortages or cash shortages will have some kind of something to look at or reference back to.
And you talk about out of town versus like the food pantry and,
All of it. I would like to do anything Waldo County, and I can help with the list.
okay,
But then I know you know a lot more about the Islesboro, what's, where you'd send people if somebody came in and asked you. I would like to make it more public. And if we could just put together like an official list, maybe like a little summary of what they can help with. That way we can just do a mass notification and then put it out on the Facebook pages,
Yeah.
social medias. Just that way,
yeah, I do have a great thing from Waldo with a bunch of,
yes.
I don't know how current everything is.
Searsport just put theirs out for the
Yeah.
summer schedule, and it has 2 or 3 columns.
Yeah.
Of all of these different resources, wood, anything else. But if we could also do something like that, I think that it would show the citizens that we are paying attention, that we know that some people that we might not know needs help. Here you go.
Do you want to share what Sears, could you share with Janet what Sears put to,
Yeah.
that as an example?
Is it the same thing as Waldo County?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. And so that one is last season's, is just because I saw the date on the bottom. But I can try to reach out to my girl at CAP and see if they have the winter season,
Oh, yeah,
resource sheet. And see if I can get that to you faster. It was just a citizen that had posted it online, but I will make sure that that's the one that you see too, and then see if I can get.
yeah, I
it.
see what Jen posts wants to do.
Yeah, and she's very helpful with it.
Very,
But it was just something that I came across earlier from a Searsport community page, and it was like, oh, yes, that could be super helpful. And maybe not everybody's on Searsport's community page. I'm
Oh,
not sure
no.
why I.
I hope people are utilizing the food pantry.
Mhm.
People who need it.
But we can also just use it as a reminder that it's there. How to reach
Still
out to
locked,
Trish.
right?
I
It
think
is.
so, at 7 o'clock, I think they said, there people were going in after hours
And vandalizing.
or helping themselves. and so-
Oh, yes, I've heard these rumors. I smile because I don't believe them for a second.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's good if we put the hours on
It's a
it
shame.
and let them know if you do need something after 7 o'clock. There are people that will meet you there and will let you in and do it.
Sure.
And so, but that way we don't scare off people or anything, make people
Huh.
worry.
Thank you. Good. Question, comment. Idea. All right, no other correspondence? No other old business, no new business, no other business. Approve warrant number 9 for FY 26. Do I have a motion?
So,
Second, any discussion? All those in favor, Steve,
Aye.
Melissa,
hi.
Pete,
Aye.
Peter,
Aye.
Shay, aye. Excellent. There are no appointments tonight. My only comment is, I thought it was a really, good public meeting that the school board put on earlier this week. It was nice to see, so many people there, and I know most of you, or if not all of you were there, I can see people who were online, but not necessarily for tonight. I know housing was a big part and we're doing a lot about that for the future, but I just thought it was a good, important community discussion, and I'm glad that they started it, and encourage if there are ways that we can or should think about continuing it. I support doing that in future meetings.
Absolutely. I think one aspect of all of that is what is our collective municipal commitment to support affordable housing and this is a large topic for the future.
Is that your comment for the evening?
That's why more than my comment.
Perfect, all right. Steve, any last?
Yeah, no,
comments?
I was just gonna comment on the same thing. The school board meeting was a good first start and we need to accelerate those discussions.
Melissa?
Congratulations to Owlsboro's seniors on the soccer team. They won tonight. It was a great game. Good sportsmanship all around. Everybody needs to,
Great.
come out and support your local athletics.
Pete, wrap us up.
I have no.
Come on, Pete, give us a burn.
Bring it home. All right, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Bring it home.
Thank you all.
Did I say this correctly? That our
Yeah.
tax valuation is going to go down?
No.
Down. It's gonna go up.
In 20